Hi, Umemun, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. I see Praveen has joined. Hey, Praveen, what's up? Praveen, we can just like have quick conversations in the chat box. If you can type hey, so like I know you're there. Meanwhile, we'll wait for everyone else to join. So hi there, Praveen. How are you doing? I'll give you like a second to type it in the chat box. Praveen, I hope I'm audible, right? I hope you can hear me.
Yes, Umemun, we can hear you.
All right. Okay, Praveen, not in the mood to have a conversation? Just a simple hey would suffice. At least so like I know that you're behind that screen, because in the digital mode it's kind of like unpredictable whether you're actually there or not. So just type a hey in the chat box and we can have a further conversation. Okay.
Hi, Praveen, you can unmute and tell me whether you're here or not. We just want to, understand whether you have joined or not.
Yeah.
You can unmute and tell us.
Okay. Two options. Yeah, either you can type in the chat box or you can just unmute yourself and have a conversation. Okay, no worries. We'll wait for everyone else to join. But Praveen, if you can hear us, this is an SET webinar, obviously, since you've joined. I hope that you have a brief of what SETs are. If you don't, you can also type in the chat box that you do not, so we can guide you further through, what SETs are and how college admissions and processes work and why SET helps in that. Meanwhile, we'll start our webinar sharply in around 12 minutes and we'll wait everyone else to join. So, yep. I see you've unmuted yourself, Praveen. So,
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, this is Praveen.
Yeah. Hello. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good going on. How about you?
I'm well. Thanks for asking. Praveen, we can also, type it in the chat box. So it just gets easier with communication when everyone else joins. So,
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
Actually, I have joined the webinar because my daughter she's now studying in 12th and she
Okay.
will be completing in 2023 next year.
All right.
So
Sir.
she would like to go for a high studies in UK or US like that. So we have not finalized whether to go to UK or US. Meantime, we saw your advertisements and also I'm following now actually.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So glad that you could explain that to us, sir. And surely with this webinar, we can help you further, even further on deciding on whether to take US or UK. But if there is like a doubt, so basically UK universities, SATs and are not like required. But then if you want to go to UK, if you want to study education in UK, you will have to give IELTS. It's a compulsory entrance exam. For as well as for US universities, there are no compulsions on whether you have to compulsorily give an exam. It's not a necessary, it's optional. So SATs, IELTS, TOEFL for US universities are actually optional. If your daughter is looking for US universities, the most of the top 25 universities in the world are situated in US, and she will not have to compulsorily give IELTS. But for UK, she will have to write an IELTS exam just to apply for the student visa over there. So I hope that clears up that. Is there
Yeah.
any further doubt regarding anything at all? You can ask us in the chat box or talk to us. We'll be able to.
Yeah. Is it the time? I think 5:30 is the webinar time, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Meantime, she has taken the commerce subjects, commerce with maths,
Okay.
and she would like to go for with economics.
Mhm.
So her primary aim is to go to LSC, but I'm not sure how the process will be done and what all things to be added up on her profile.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So actually, I think today we had allotted a meeting with Miss Ariana.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sure, sir. Aryan can help you further on specific fields and specific colleges. She is one of our counselors at our team leap. So if you have booked a demo session with us, of course, it's like a free demo session. So she will be able to guide you through all of the queries and admission process. Sir.
Yeah.
As far as this webinar goes, this is our verbal masterclass. So it's basically to give you a glimpse of how we teach SAT syllabus at LEAP and how it's going to further help your child do much better in SAT exams. Because even though SATs are optional, US universities do give a lot of importance to the score that they academically get, as well as the score they have in SATs. It does give you like an edge because US universities has a lot of competition when it comes to admissions. And if your daughter is looking into economics with already a background in commerce, like you've said in 11th and 12th, she will require a profile that is very equally built. So in the US, only like 50 to 60% of your academic marks are counted, but rest of the percentage goes into your extracurricular. That's basically how well you've developed your profile overall, like the clubs you've done or sports or anything that you've achieved other than your academics. That's what matters most. And there are a lot of good business schools. But if you do want a list of like the schools that your daughter can pursue, Arin will be like the perfect person to talk to about. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining in,
Yeah.
sir.
Thank
Any
you.
other queries?
No, so we are just scrutinizing the procedures and all. So we'll be anyway. Today we are having a session with her. We'll be
Yeah.
knowing much more about that.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for joining in, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Meanwhile, Vishal, you've joined. Hey there, Vishal. You can type it in the chat box or you could just unmute and talk to us. How are you doing, Vishal?
Vishal, you can unmute and talk if you want. We've given you permission to unmute.
And he's also written in the chat box that he's doing well. Well, glad that you're doing okay, Vishal. Just a quick conversation before we move further with our webinar. Vishal, could you tell me which grade you are in, or whether you're looking forward to prepare for SETs? Have you started preparing?
Simply unmute, Vishal. You need not type this much.
It'll be easier to just talk. Yeah. Whatever feels comfortable to you. Basically, I'm just asking, which grade you are in, so that we get a perspective on, how long you have before your college admissions and the process begins. It's actually so noisy here. Okay. Vishal, can you hear me correctly? Or could you like shift yourself to a place where it's less noisy? Meanwhile, hey there, Jeffrey. What's up? Jeff, we've just been talking about SETs and stuff. So Jeffrey, if you're here, you can unmute and say hey, or you can type it in the chat box, whatever feels comfortable to you, so that we know you're here. Yeah, you can hear us. All right, thanks for the acknowledgement, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, could you tell us which grade you're in, or if you're looking to give your SETs? You're in 11th standard. All right, so this is like the perfect time to start preparing for SATs, because like, you know, most of, I think math syllabus of SAT does come from 10th and 11th. So it kind of helps you further on preparing. So that's there. Jeffrey, have you started preparing for SATs? Are you looking forward to prepare for SATs? And it's completely okay if, okay, you're saying yes. All right, cool. Meanwhile, Vishal, I still haven't heard from you. I hope you can hear me correctly, Vishal. Okay, Jeffrey, quickly. So since you're in 11th standard and since you're preparing for SAT, first of all, do you have a brief of the SAT exam and how it's going to further help you? Just type in yes or no in the chat box so I can just brief you through the exam. Okay, you do. Cool. So Jeff, okay, if I am to ask you a question, what is your dream college abroad? What will be the answer to that? You just started. It's all cool. It's perfect time, like I said, to start preparing. So yeah. So Jeff, any dream college in mind? Somewhere that you actually want to go? It could be any college, US, or you're looking forward to AI in the US. All right. So first of all, good choice. Artificial intelligence has a lot of scope. And if you're planning on US universities, then definitely a lot of scope, because some of the top US universities in terms of AI are situated there. So good choice. Any particular college that you've seen in the US, or like you just want to go to United States? Let me know in the chat box. Not very sure about the colleges. All right, cool. I am glad that at least you're sure of your field, that you're narrowing down, looking for a good one. Cool. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So if you're looking forward for artificial intelligence, then I think obviously your ICT scores will matter in all of this part. But I think if you're looking for universities, then first that I can suggest is Carnegie Mellon University. Carnegie is known for its faculty for artificial intelligence. Carnegie is really good. You can apply for Stanford if you're aiming higher, if you're aiming for obviously a score of like 1550 or somewhere around 1500 plus, you can aim for Stanford. Stanford ranks second in the entire world, but their artificial intelligence faculty is also really nice. I think University of Texas at Austin is nice. Georgia Institute of Technology. I hope you're writing down these names, but Georgia Institute of Technology, just to give you a brief, that university is also nice if you're looking for US. Yeah. So just look through Georgia, look through Carnegie Mellon University, Stanford, obviously, University of Texas. So yeah, these are some US universities that I can surely suggest will be the top ranked. Plus, all of these come in like the top 50 universities in the world. So obviously, it's going to be a little competitive, and AI is a competitive field. So yeah, even University of Michigan has good courses of AI. So go through that. Meanwhile, Rayan has joined. I just want to say hi, Rayan. What's up? Rayan, could you type it in the chat box quickly? Hey, or anything that works for you so we know you're here. Okay. Like we've just been talking about Jeffrey pursuing artificial intelligence and which universities he can go into. Okay, Rayan. Rayan, could you converse with us in English if that will be possible for you? It will be easier to converse in English, Rayan, because SATs are an English medium exam. So yeah. Okay. What about Vishal? Vishal, any particular dream college that you're looking forward to getting admissions to? Yeah. Hey there, Ryan. Okay, so Ryan, quickly, same question. What's your dream college? I want to know where, you're aiming to go. And before that, could you also tell me which grade you are in? So like I understand where you stand. And Jia has joined, Ganesh has joined. Hey there, guys. How are you doing? Just type a quick hey in the chat box. Aditya, hi there. What's up? Hi, guys. Okay, Ryan, you're in grade 12th, very close to your future. So all the very best, first of all, Ryan. And any particular university or any particular field, that you've narrowed down to that this is where you want to go or this is where you're aiming, just type it in the chat box. Same question for Aditya, Jia, Ganesh. Guys, please let me know which standard you all are in or which grade you all are studying. And which college do you want to get admissions into? How is Harvard to aim for? Damn, that's a really good choice. Well, Harvard is an Ivy League college, stands third in global rankings. So it's an amazing college. You're asking what will be the requirements. Okay, so it's already time, but I'll just answer your question if that's okay, Parminder ma'am, and then we can move forward.
Sure.
Yeah. So what will be the requirements for getting to Harvard? First of all, of course, it depends on the degree that you want to pursue in Harvard. But just to give you all a general view, if you all are planning on a broad education in the top 25 universities globally, please build your profile equally. What that means is academics is only 50% part of it. SAT scores, though they're optional, SATs are still valued a lot at universities like Harvard because it gives them an overall view of how well you are academically. And the next 50% of your profile goes into your extracurriculars. What that means is, whether you're into sports, the clubs, your leadership skills, or certification, different other than academic courses and internships or volunteering work. All of this. And Ganesh, are you speaking something? Okay. Continuing. So that's what extracurriculars, are for. So it builds your profile or higher universities. US universities and Canadian universities work on GPA systems. So in Canada, the GPA is from 0 to 5, and in US also the GPA system is from 0 to 4 or 0 to 5. It differs from
Umemun, your voice has gone very feeble.
Okay. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah.
So there was disturbance too.
Okay, all right now. So GPA system also works in the universities. So please maintain a GPA of like, if you're supposed to ask what's a good GPA, then a GPA of 3.5 and higher will be the GPA that you should be aiming for. So that is just summed up the requirements that Ryan was asking. Meanwhile, guys, any further questions you all have regarding your SATs, your colleges, your admissions, no matter where you want to apply, type it in the chat box. We will take up the questions after the webinar ends. But I think now we can start the webinar and move to the introduction slide, please. Yes. And Vishal, keep typing in the chat box. We will take up your doubts and questions at the end of the session. Okay, so welcome everyone to our English masterclass today. And today we have Parminder ma'am with us. She has more than a decade of experience in teaching SAT, GRE, and GMAT, and she specializes in the verbal part of these competitive tests. She is also certified to conduct train the trainer programs and has certified 25 plus trainers and conducted 12 plus training sessions for the same. She's also designed course curriculums for major education companies throughout. And with this, she is the most phenomenal faculty member that you're going to find who can actually help you achieve your dream score in the verbal part of your SATs. Having said that, I welcome you, ma'am, and hope you all have an amazing evening with us.
Thank you so much, Umemun. Just let me know if I'm not, clear. My voice is not clear, or if there is a disturbance.
Yeah.
And Vishal, you can, wonderful. You have written your question in the chat. We'll take up this question later on. Umaymun will make a note of this, and we'll start with something related to SAT. Okay. While you all quickly enjoy this cartoon on the slide, I'll talk about, the topic of today's class, which is punctuations. I don't know how much aware you all are with the structure of SAT, the topics which are tested. But I'm going to introduce one of the topics of one of the subsections of SAT. Okay, so your SAT is broadly divided in two parts: verbal and math. Under the verbal part, there are two subtests: reading comprehensions and writing and language. So today we're going to do one of the topics of writing and language. Okay. So as you might have deduced that the cartoon is about punctuations, okay, and I also want to talk about punctuations. Punctuation is the most frequently tested topic in our SAT, and punctuations is something we take very lightly because our most favorite punctuation turns out to be a comma. So wherever we want a punctuation, we just put a comma, and we feel that we are done with it. Okay, and it doesn't go that way. We are tested on variety of punctuation marks, something which you don't use quite frequently in your day-to-day writing. Punctuation marks like semicolon, punctuation marks like dashes, punctuation marks like colon. So we are tested on these such obviously full stop comes there, comma comes there, various uses of commas. We are tested on all these types of punctuations. There are approximately 8 to 9 questions in the set of 44 questions related to punctuations. 8 to 9 questions are of punctuations in the set of 44 total questions in the paper. So therefore we thought of doing this topic with you. So punctuations seem very archaic. We feel that it's who uses semicolon these days, or who uses colon these days. So if you are not using a colon in your life, in your writing, if you're not using a semicolon, that doesn't mean that that semicolon and colon and dashes, they have become archaic and they are not used in formal writing. Punctuation is a part of formal English. It's very much a part of formal English. If you start paying attention to the details in the newspapers, in the magazine, in the books, you will see these punctuation marks occurring. It's just that till now you have been probably oblivious towards these punctuation marks, so you did not notice that they are used that often. And other than that, we have to do it now because there are multiple questions on punctuations in our test. Since there are so many questions, so we have to know about punctuation marks. So the agenda for today is learning about punctuation. So first I'm going to take a quiz. And when I take a quiz, I'm not really testing you. Okay, I'm just going to show you something very interesting. Okay, so some punctuations, as I said, we take very lightly. I'm going to show you that something which we take very lightly, if is missed, okay, or if it's wrongly placed at a certain point in the sentence, it can create blunders. So I show you some real life examples of magazines, billboards, etc., where punctuations were missed and it created a wrong meaning. And then I'm going to acquaint you with some official SAT questions which are testing punctuations. Okay, so we are going to do those questions together. I'm hoping a lot of participation through chat. So I would love if you would write, the answers in the chat, or if you would just write your doubts, any point you have, anything you want to learn, even if you want to know when semicolon is used, when dash is used, just, write that. So let's start with something light and something, interesting. This is the actual quizzing clipping of a magazine, and the part circled with red has some problem. There's something missing here. Okay, and as we know that we are doing punctuations, so it's probably a punctuation missing in this part. Can you tell me in the chat which punctuation marks or where should we put the punctuation mark? What is wrong in this sentence? Anything in your simple word, or if you want to put, any punctuation mark anywhere, where should it be? I'm giving you some seconds to think. Jeffrey says exclamation at the end. Nice, nice observation. Rayan says comma after cooking. Very good. Excellent, Rayan. Anything else? A comma after cooking, Vishal says. Very good. So a comma after cooking is one proposed by you. And other than that, an exclamation, as Jeffrey says, should be there. Anything else? Full stop in the last. Rayan says full stop in the last. Okay, a full stop or exclamation is one of the same things. If you put a exclamation or a full stop, it's same. But exclamation means you're saying that in a surprise. Rachel Ray finds inspiration, something like that with an expression. Okay, and a full stop means it's a normal sentence. After Ray, comma after Ray. Okay, so for this Varun, if I say Varun likes, it's season of mangoes, so I'll say Varun likes mangoes. Will you put a comma here, Varun? No, no. So you will not put a comma even after Rachel Ray. Okay. So let me tell you what all is. So one of the thing, exclamation, I think it should be a full stop, not an exclamation. Okay. And other than that, you guys have rightly noticed that there should be a comma after cooking. Okay. So this is the exact correction of this sentence. So there's something there's funny in this, cover also. Can you look at the face of the dog, So the sentence is giving a meaning without proper commas. The sentence is giving meaning that Rachel Ray finds inspiration in cooking her dog. So she finds inspiration in actually, frying her dog probably, and her family and her dog. So dog looks quite scared. Okay, all right. So if we put comma, there comes a proper pause and it becomes a list. So she finds inspiration in cooking as an activity. She finds inspiration in her family, and she finds inspiration in her dog. There should be a comma before and also. Okay. So comma and, I'll tell you what this is. Okay. Comma and, the name for this comma and is Oxford comma. Okay. So we put comma before and. I'm not sure whether you guys are, taught this in your school, but sometimes, some teachers don't pay attention, or this is not part of, your regular grammar books, that there should be a comma before and or not. But there should be a comma before and when we are listing things. Okay. And that list goes beyond two. For example, she finds inspiration is 1, cooking, 2, her family, and 3, her dog. So these are the three, three different entities in which she finds inspiration. So looking at that, we should, separate this list. So anytime if you come across a list, a comma always comes with an and if you're giving a list, Rayan. Okay. For example, Rayan, if I say Rayan, I say Varun, and I say, Jeffrey. Jeff, I'm writing your short form of your name, and I put an and here. Okay. They're going to mall. So there should be a comma and. I'll tell you why. Because when you put a comma before and, that means Rayan is a different entity, Varun is a separate entity, and Jeff is a separate entity. Otherwise, if you say Rayan, Varun, and Jeff, that means Rayan, Varun, and Jeff together. Okay, I'll show you a question related to this. But there should be a comma before and when your list is more than 2. You understand list, Rayan? For example, I listed our names. Rayan, Varun, Jeff. Even if I include my name, Rayan, Varun, Jeff, and Parminder. So there should be a comma before and the moment my list has exceeded 2. Okay, always. And SAT does test us on this rule. So we should be very clear that if it is a list of nouns, verbs, adjectives, there should be a comma before and. All right. I'll show you one more question. This concept, I'll make sure that you learn today. I have multiple questions based on this. Okay. Any error? Any problem? Rayan say there should not be a full stop after someone. And not even the capital. It should be G small. Someone, comma, get a job. Jesseline says, comma, get a job. Okay. others feel the same, you can, say a thumbs up, over just Jaslene's answer or Rayan's answer, if you feel that's the correction. Okay, so let's look at this sentence. If there is a full stop, there should not, Agrima says there should not be a comma. Very good, Agrima. Okay, Agrima, you observed it right. Vishal says yes, Jaslene's right. So I'll come on that comma part later. Let's look at something which is, horrible here. That's a full stop. Okay. Now the sentence probably meant something else and is right now, telling us something else. The intention of this billboard maker was very, nice. He wanted to help, thank everyone for helping, others find a job. But it looks like he says your donation just helped someone. Go get a job. Okay, something like that, There suddenly comes a very weird tone after someone if there's a full stop. Okay, so even if it makes sense, Varun, it makes very weird sense. So this person was thankful just till now, and now saying go get a job. Okay, get a job. Okay, it sounds a weird tone. Okay, so this full stop, as you guys have proposed, is actually wrong. It should be without any, full stop. That full stop changes everything. So there should be nothing, and this the G part of this get should get smaller, and there shouldn't be any comma after someone. Why? Because, or you can, I'm sorry for that. They have tried to keep the first word of every spelling capital. So G capital will also work because it's a billboard. Now it's fine. They want to attract attention. That's a way of attracting your audience's attention. All right. So we don't need a full stop here. A full stop is a period. It's called a period. Full stop, the name of the full stop is period. Period is a very powerful punctuation. And a replacement of period is semicolon. So these two means when you're done talking, you put a semicolon, you put a period, and you start new to give another, complete idea. All right. Let's try one more question. This also has a very funny meaning. So I try to keep it, light in the starting so that I scare you later on with the real SAT questions. What's wrong here? There should not be a comma here. No comma after. The comma should be removed. The comma, wonderful. You guys are very prompt in analyzing this thing. With this comma, it looks like cats and dogs. These are gentlemen standing there like an audience, and this girl is, addressing them. Cats and dogs. It's raining. Okay. Whereas cats and dogs is actually raining cats and dogs is a phrase. Raining cats and dogs is means it's raining heavily, so it has to be used without a comma. Raining cats and dogs is a proper phrase without any stop. And if you put a stop thinking that it will look nice, it will look interesting, then it becomes, for example, you tell me, Parminder, it's raining. Okay, so it becomes addressing the other person. So here it looks like this girl is addressing these three poor animals, and they are looking weirdly at her. That cats and dogs, see, it's raining. It becomes weird. So the explanation of this will be, it is raining cats and dogs. Yeah. Rayan, she doesn't mean here that that dear cats and dogs, it's raining. And I've given a very pictorial representation, a very funny pictorial representation of this phrase. So some things in language are not literal. They do not mean what they actually are. For example, raining cats and dogs is it's figurative. Okay, it's not real. It's not, it's an expression. Very good, Varun. It's a figurative expression. It doesn't literally mean, and connects to one very interesting point related to SAT. So when we do SAT, we get a lot of passages which are based on speeches, history, literature. So in those passages, we get figurative expression, imageries, and we cannot take Varun. History ones are very difficult. We can't take the expressions literally. Okay, that's one of the learning point of your SAT, that don't take anything just on the face value, or don't just take them literally. Okay, all right. One more question of similar sort. Last question of similar sort. Then we'll go to the actual questions. I have taught you this, just in the starting, just reinforcing this point, and I hope you'll now understand why do we use, a comma after toast, comma. Very good. So rather than saying after the comma after toast, you say a comma before and. That's a better expression, better way of putting it. And why? Now look at here. Okay, let me give you. So without a comma, if you say this in front of somebody who's a native speaker, okay, by native speaker I mean somebody who speaks English as the first language, the expression it will make in the mind of the listener is this. Okay, I had eggs and toast and orange. That means orange juice was on the toast. Remember, I told you that if you don't put a comma before and, those two things you're joining without comma becomes one entity. And this only happens when your list is two. If I say toast and orange juice were brought, then it doesn't mean that orange juice was on the toast. For two, I'm using variables, x and y. For two, we never put a comma before and. That's wrong. But the moment it exceeds 2, you say x, y, and then you say z. Okay, and you use a and. There has to be a comma so that all three are read separately and are taken separately. So you have to say, I had eggs, toast, and orange juice. Otherwise, it will give this pictorial, create this pictorial, this picture in the mind of the, listener and reader. Yeah, so I have been teaching from last 10 years. First time I heard this, in 2012, I was like, probably the kids have forgotten, this was taught in the school. I didn't remember whether I was taught this in the school. I learned it, over the years. But now, every year or probably every month when I get, students, I teach them, they say I never heard in my school that there should be a comma before and. In fact, my ma'am says that there shouldn't be a comma before and. So I don't know where this gap is, why this gap is originating, but there should be. You can search this name on Google, guys. It's named Oxford comma. Not really, Varun. I think probably this is, so do you know how scientific theories are debated? How scientific theories or, mathematical theories are debated. Similarly, language, a lot of things in language are also debated. Over time, some things become archaic. If you pick up a dictionary and search for a word, you will see they will, say at a certain place that, for example, they will write in red, archaic. What does that mean? That over the time, this word has gone out of usage. And you would see some new words added in dictionary. Similarly, language, a lot of concepts in language also remain debated, are then finally accepted. So what these tests like IIT and other, tests, what they do is they keep it simple. For example, they'll tell you that we are testing you on Oxford comma. Remember this, memorize this. Okay, you may not be tested on Oxford comma at school, but the test says we will be testing you. So please memorize these punctuation marks. All right. Okay, so a revision of basic concepts, and then Umemin will explain some things about our course to you. All right, Umemin, I'll just give a quick recap, and then after that you don't have to go anywhere. After that we are going to do real SAT questions. Okay, so what did we learn? We just simply looked at the sentences which are coming at the billboards, in the magazines, and we realized that a comma here and there, extra comma here and there, and just a full stop here and there can create problems. So a missing and an unnecessary comma can create blunders. We saw that. Okay, a missing or unnecessary period can fuse the meaning. Do you know what is fusing the meaning? Now, when you make a sentence, when you write a sentence, you may not use a full stop, and I see a lot of students proposing a comma where we need a full stop. You don't realize because you're thinking that in your head, and in your head that's very clear that the sentence has to be read in this way, sentence has to be understood in this way. But when the other person reads it and there is no proper pause, that thing is fused in that person's mind, and he or she will not be able to merge two things. You did not want that intentionally, but you have done that, merged, and the person is then confused, would be then struggling with the meaning. So you all have to develop your language to such a level that you analyze that there is a problem of putting a comma at the place of full stop or full stop at the place of comma, and you start reading properly. Okay, so SAT will probably make your language better if you do it with love. But if you just do it like that, then you may do it just for the exam. After that, you'll forget. So some things you start bring in your life. For example, whatever we are going to learn today till end. Okay. All right, Umaymun.
Okay, guys, so before I get into all the course details and stuff, how are you liking this session? Is it helpful? Is it not helpful? I'm seeing in the chat box you all are replying, so that's nice. You all are learning new things. Cool. We will get back to your questions as well. We're glad, Vishal, that it's helpful. Okay, so guys, let me just take you through these slides quickly, and then you can go back to actual SAT questions. So why choose Leap Scholars SAT program, and what exactly are we trying to do while we take up this course? So first of all, we have customizable class timings. So we do understand that you all are very, very busy, and your generation is, almost at the point where you'll have your 11th and 12th exams as well as your SATs coming up. So our class timings are customizable according to your schedule. We have one-on-one sessions, so you get like personalized attention, which is so important, right? Because once the attention is personalized, you'll be able to learn faster, and your doubts get cleared then and there. With 75 plus hours of live classes and study sessions, what is basically, yes, ma'am.
There is noise from your background. Probably your mic is probably your mic is continuous sound.
1 second. Better? Not better.
Better? I think this one's better without the microphone.
Yeah, probably
Okay.
better. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully this is better, guys. Hope there's no noise. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So coming to the third point, 75 plus hours of live classes. What this basically means is all of our classes are live, absolutely in front of you. They're not recorded sessions like, anywhere else in the market. And we have 75 plus hours of those live classes. So what else do you need to ace SATs, right? Moving on to the next slide. Yeah. And personalized study plan. So I know that, our generation is supposed to be like, we make a study plan and we're like, we'll focus on it. But most of us fall short on actually following through our study plan. So our faculty is here to make a personalized study plan specifically according to your syllabus that you have to cover up for SATs. And we will make sure that you do follow your study plan accordingly with unlimited doubt solving sessions and 10,000 plus practice questions. So before you actually start, prepare, once you start preparing for SATs, you will have to, you will require a lot of practice, and we provide 10,000 plus original practice questions from SATs that is going to actually help you further get prepared for your exams. Moving on to the next slide on what we provide you. So we also have 20 plus practice tests waiting for you. And all of these practice tests are procured from the original SATs. So all of these 20 of them are actually full length practice tests that you can actually take up for around 3 hours. And we'll also have, I think, 4 of them live proctored. Basically, what that means is one of the exams that are going to be full length, our faculty is going to sit with you and actually see you go through that paper for 3 hours. So you have like a real time experience on how SATs actually work with detailed feedback. So it's very important to track progress and to learn on whether you're making mistakes, where you're making mistakes, and how to further improve on them. And our faculty is here to do it for you with lifetime access to all of our recordings. So of course that our classes are live, but we also record them and upload them on the student portal after the class is done. So if anytime you want to go brush up the concept, like for example, today Parminda ma'am is teaching commas concept, and what if you forget about it in a month or so, and you want to brush it up, you can always go back to your student portal and look through your recordings. So moving on to the next slide. Last 9th and 10th point is revision session. So before your attempt is given, we sit with you and brush up all of the concepts required so that you're very well equipped before you actually enter that exam hall and ace your SATs. And the price for the same is written on your screens. Having said all of what we provide and stuff, if any of you is interested after this masterclass to join our SAT program, you can type in your names in the chat box. Our team will be able to take it up. Or there is a poll that I am just going to launch. Just give me 1 second. I think, ma'am, your screen sharing is stopped. Yeah. So the poll basically asks if you want to join or no. And you could just type it in the chat box, your name, if you want to register with us, or just give us a poll. It's literally going to take like 0.3 seconds. The answer could be any of the 3 options, guys. And then I'll let you get back to your poll. Oh, sorry, your question.
I have to be given host right.
Yes, ma'am. Just 1 second. I think now you can share your screen. Yeah. Cool. So guys, I've launched the poll and you can give me your answers in the poll. Okay. Cool. Ma'am, there was another slide after this. I'm not sure. That's for one. Sorry. Yes. Ma'am, could you just make the slide full screen? It's like visible half a screen.
Is it better?
Yeah. We could just move to the next slide. Yes. So Leap's Discord server is here, whose link I'll be posting right now in the chat box. So, what do we do at Discord? So I do understand that some of you or most of you use Discord for gaming, but you can also use Discord for education purposes this one time, just because, you all are serious about your careers. So basically on our Discord channel, you can get in touch with our team and our faculty members. They are going to be there. So you can start conversing or start asking your doubts or anything at all with our faculties. You can interact with them lifetime. You can also have interaction with fellow students, right? Because it does help, get together with people who are actually on the same career path. So you can interact with the fellow students around the globe. We have students not just from one particular place, but we have students from all over the Gulf. So you can interact with them. And we're also going to have doubt solving sessions on our Discord server. So basically any doubt that pop up into your head about SATs or questions, that's news Discord being used like this. But yes, instead for just gaming, Discord can also be used for education purposes. And I would request all of you to join us right now. I will be posting the link in your chat box. And you can straightforward join. And meanwhile, since I'm posting the link, you can also give the poll, just a reminder, guys. Okay. Yeah, and I think we can continue, ma'am. Sure, I'll just post the link. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So let's come on, punctuation marks again. And no funny questions now, all serious stuff, okay? So we are going to do questions, which I'm posting, I'm going to do actual questions of SAT. Huh? So the punctuation marks we are tested in SAT, period, which is the other name for that is full stop, question mark, okay, and exclamations. Question marks and exclamation do not come that often. There's one odd question here and there, or in, one of the papers in the series, okay. Commas and semicolons and colons, and I should write dash also here, and apostrophes, quotation marks, okay, and parentheses, that's brackets, okay, that's tested, that comes with commas, and we will learn the uses of that, okay. So when we have a question in front of you, I'll explain you the basic things first. The basic thing is that you have directly the option. So one of the options will say no change, and then options B, C, and D will proposing you some changes. Okay, so they're not asking you to do anything. You have to figure out yourself what has to be done. So when we have to figure out ourselves, what do? Is we quickly go through the answer choices and see what's changing. For example, in this case, semicolon becomes a full stop becomes a semicolon, a comma is here, a comma is here, there is a comma, this is a comma is here. So we understand that we are being tested on punctuation. If this was, it becomes there becomes R becomes we, then we are tested on pronouns. So by analyzing the answer choices, we understand what we are being tested on. So since we are tested on punctuations here, so the way to approach this question, I'm going to approach this question for you. I'll ask some relevant questions. Meanwhile, you can write your answers in the chat, okay? So what I will do is, I will start reading from here because for punctuation marks, we have to read the full sentence from starting till end. So it says, she found that students who were required to volunteer rushed to complete their service hours in early high school. And once I've read this, I'm going to ask myself whether this sentence is a complete sentence, a complete idea, okay, or a proper, independent clause, whether it's a complete sentence or a complete idea, okay. If it is not a complete sentence and if it is not a complete idea, then you need to, not have a semicolon or a full stop. So this seems like a complete idea because it says that she found that students who were required to volunteer rushed to complete their services. If I tell this to anyone, he or she will say it's a perfectly complete idea. It has a subject, it has a verb, and both the subject and verb are giving proper meaning. So a comma here. Now let's read the second part. So I will start from they and read till volunteer because that's where we have full stop. Okay. So we read from full stop to full stop. And why I'm splitting it in two parts? Because they're proposing us a semicolon, a full stop, and a semicolon here. So it says they then did significantly less regular volunteer work in 12th grade than did students who were not required to volunteer. Is this a complete idea? Can you answer in chat? The second one. Just yes or no. Is this a complete idea? Okay. Vishal says no. Rayan says yes. What about others? Agrima? Aditya, Hinal, Jeffrey? Vishal? Vishal has said no, sir. Jeffrey says it's a complete idea. Anybody else who would like to guess whether it's a complete idea or not? All right, let me explain then. So it says, if then is taken out, then it is a complete idea. Isn't then telling you the sequence here, Rayan? Don't we need it? It's not like although, no? If you say although they did, if I say because they did, then if you remove because, then it's, incomplete. Then is used as an adverb here, Rayan. For example, she beautifully wrote the poem. She wrote the poem. How did she write the poem? Beautifully. It's not a conjunction. Don't confuse it with a conjunction. It's not a conjunction. Then is coming as a sequence marker and it's an adverb here. Okay. Adverbs like beautifully. Okay. You ran fast. So fast is an adverb. So they did significantly less regular work. Now that's a complete idea there. They participated in the competition. They liked the class. They wrote a paper. All these sentences are complete because they is a subject and then did is a verb and it makes proper sense. And when you have two complete sentences, you cannot use a comma. You can never ever use a comma to join two complete sentences. Two complete sentences are proper sentences and they need something stronger, than comma. Comma is a soft punctuation. You take slight, small pause, okay? So you need A is out. You need a semicolon or you need a full stop. These are interchangeable. So now the choice is not, we have to zero down on not the, semicolon and full stop. We have to see what is the use of this comma here. Now I would like to come on what Rayan mentioned, that if you take out then it is a complete idea. So if I have to take out then, how do I do that? If I have to tell my readers that then is not important, don't pay attention to it. Anybody who can tell me, if I want to mention, tell somebody that this something, suppose this is a part, okay, in a writing. I want to tell the person that this is not important in my sentence. Please don't read it. How can I say that? How can I mention that with using punctuation marks? Okay, a difficult question. So I'll answer this myself. So then you have to put two commas around that information. A single comma will not work. Two commas will mean that this information given between these two commas is extra. Okay. So Vishal, when you write messages to somebody, when you write an email or you write something to let's say anybody, do you at times put something in brackets? A yes or no? Do you do that? Sometimes something in bracket. Not always. At times you want to say something, but you're putting that in bracket. Do you do that? Is your answer still a no? Sometimes, no? For example, you are saying something, now something unrelated comes to your mind and you feel that's not important. You're thinking, you're in double minds. So then you think that let me put it there and put a bracket around. Now, you know what you are hinting or telling, suggesting to your reader, that whatever is coming in brackets is extra, please don't read it. Or you can, you can skip it, read the other part which is beyond, before and after the bracket. Or read the sentence without, this information which is there in the brackets. So in language, the same brackets can be replaced by 2 commas around or 2 dashes around. That means that anything which is coming between dashes, between commas, or between these brackets is extra. Extra for the core meaning of the sentence. So here, Rayan had actually pointed very nicely that if you take out, then it looks nice to me. So he probably found that to be a conjunction. So it's not a conjunction, it's an extra adverb which is just telling you that this is extra. And if you want to make it extra, either you put 2 commas around or nothing. Now what's happening with us is that there is 1 comma here, there is 1 comma here, there is no option which is closing this then with 2 commas. So let me erase some of the marks. So that means the writer of this question, for the writer of this question, this then is very important. He wants you to stress on this. He wants you to understand that there is a sequence. He doesn't want to say that then is extra, erase it. Okay, so therefore D has to be the answer. Okay, so you get questions where you are asked whether single word or more than 1 word's phrase is extra in the sentence or not. Okay, so this question was testing us on semicolons, full stop, and extra information, whether it is extra or not. Okay, this is an actual question from one of the test papers. All right. Thank you, Agrima. Let's go to next question. So we improve with every question. We improve the way we see the question. We improve the way we correct that question. Okay, we improve whatever we are being tested on. Keep writing answers meanwhile. Okay, I like your answers because that tells me how you're thinking and I can correct that. Now I see a comma, I see a semicolon, I see a colon, and there is nothing in the original one. Now remember, a colon comes when you are joining 2 complete sentences. And if they are ever proposing you a colon, just try to read from starting till the place they are proposing you colon, and then from the next word till the full stop. Okay, so I'll read and I'll again try to understand the ideas. Punctuation is related to ideas. You have to love the sentence. You have to read it by heart. Another thing I see with my students is I tell them this, they pick this up, then they leave it very quickly. What they do is they will start reading some handedness and marsupials, suggest that a trait. Now you can't actually understand whether we need something here by starting from handedness. You have to start from the starting to understand the essence of the idea, the independence of the idea, and then only you can put a punctuation mark. So it says, however, a recent finding of handedness in marsupials suggests a trait other than suggest a trait. So I'll tell you that it looks complete. A recent finding of handedness in marsupials suggests a trait. Suggest. Oh, I forgot that. Suggest that a trait. Is that complete? A question. The part till trait. Is that complete or not? A recent finding of handedness in marsupials suggests that a trait. A yes or no? Is that complete? Yes. No means not complete. A yes or no in the chart? 2-3 answers, please, so that I understand whether you understand ideas or not. Vishal says it's not complete. Very good, right? It's not complete. So since it is not complete, straight away eliminate option C and option D. You cannot put a colon, you cannot put a semicolon after an incomplete idea. Okay, you need something complete to use a semicolon and to use a colon. Okay, so we are left with A and B. Okay, so now since it is not complete, we have to see the continuation. Okay, comma seems, harmless, seems innocuous. Innocuous is a word for something which seems harmless. It won't do anything. But comma can be very tricky. A semicolon and full stop, they're blunt a punctuation marks. They come, when they come, they know what they are coming for, and you also become very quickly aware that what they should be used for. Whereas a comma can be very tricky. It can be there, cannot be there. Sometimes it's stylistic also, so you have to understand all those things. So I'm reading it together, and then I'll see whether I need any sort of pause here or not. So a recent finding of the handedness in marsupial suggests that a trait other than presence of corpus callosum correlates with handedness. I did not take any pause, and it did look perfectly fine to me. Say it in your heart. Are you taking any pause after trait? Say it aloud. I can't hear you, but say it aloud and see, are you taking any pause after it? No pause. Jeff, are you taking a pause after it? Rayan, Vishal? No, no. So you don't need a comma. You put a comma wherever you're taking a pause. You need a breath, to stop there for a while. Okay. Understand, punctuations are representation of our expressions. When I'm speaking, I'm taking proper pauses so that you understand whatever I'm saying. When my speaking was, by the linguists put into the writing, they decided a comma has to be for a short pause, a full stop or a semicolon has to be a proper pause. When we complete something, we start something new. So if you're not taking a pause, you don't need a comma here. Okay. There are technical things also, but we do that in class. Okay. That has to be understood in detail and applied on several questions. So you learn it then. If I explain you that right now, it may probably do harm than good. Okay. So not going into that detail, but we have to learn that detail. So probably you'll learn that detail when you join classes with us. Okay. So I see a dash. I see a colon, semicolon. I see a comma and. I see a semicolon and. Okay. So if you ever see a semicolon and, a semicolon and but in SAT, okay, in normal life, when and is used as a preposition, blah blah blah, all those details, it's right. But SAT, and is used only as a conjunction. So a quick, a trick, probably a shortcut, not trick, a shortcut. You see semicolon and, you can straight away cut that answer choice, cancel that answer choice. Okay. Now we have ABD. Oh, the competition is reduced. So they're proposing us a dash. So till where should I read to understand the idea? And give me answers if you know. It's testing on something I've taught. And I would be happy if I get all correct answers. That means whatever I'm teaching, you're able to understand that, or you're applying well. Rayan says B, Agrima says B, others, Aditya, Jesslyn, Hinal, Praveen. Varun says B. Some more answers, please. If you're not able to understand, write in the chat, please explain or explain. Just explain. I'll explain it. Jesslyn says A. Okay. Jeff says B. Hinal, I haven't got any answer from you. Praveen. Aditya says B. Snedeep, Vanya. Please write answers for this. All right, okay. Hinal says B. Yeah, I just explained. So I wanted correct answers from all of you. Jesslyn, it should be B. We don't need a comma after and. We are giving a list. Grey kangaroo, red-necked wallaby, red kangaroo, and brush-tailed bitong. We are listing the types of kangaroos, Jesslyn. Okay. So since we are listing the type of kangaroos, so we need a comma and. Okay. So this is the sort of happiness you feel when you know it and you're able to explain this, get the right answer also. So I am happy that you are, liking it. And I just explained, Rayan. So This is called reinforcing. Okay, if you know the word in the psychology is positive reinforcing. When we when a habit is inculcated in somebody, it has to be explained or shown, or practical usage of that has to be done so that there is positive reinforcing. So in teaching, if I give you those questions repeatedly, then you remember that thing for longer. And this comma and thing na is very frequent in SAT. Take this in writing. There would be one question probably almost every paper. Okay, one odd paper doesn't have it, but almost every paper has this comma and concept being tested. Okay, so comma and comes in two situations. One I have explained. One, if I'll see if there comes a question, I'll explain them. Okay, all right. I hope you guys are not tired and you want to do some more questions, huh? So I'm just just coming up with question after question. Just let me know if you're you want to stop at a certain place. Okay. Remember one thing, huh? If you see just commas revolving in your options, huh? Then you need to read the full sentence and try to understand whether there are anything extra, or whether you're taking a small pause or not. But the moment you see even one semicolon in all the options, just one semicolon, or you see just one colon, then you have to understand the ideas before that semicolon or colon or dash, after that semicolon or colon or full stop or dash. Okay, so keep writing your answers as you are doing. So I'll read till degrees. Okay, I'll read till degrees and I'll start from employees. Okay, always start from the starting. I say full stop to full stop. Okay, so read from full stop to full stop. So they're proposing us a sort of full stop in option D, a semicolon. Okay, so I'll read till degrees. It says employees whose tuition is reimbursed often stay with their employer even after they complete their degrees. Is that a complete idea? Now you have a fair knowledge of, complete or incomplete ideas. I'm not saying complete knowledge of complete ideas. Okay, repetition. But you have a fair knowledge, huh? So tell me whether will you read it with heart and see whether this is a complete idea given to us. Employees whose tuition is reimbursed often stay with their employer even after they complete their degrees. Agrima says complete idea. I want some more answers. Yes, complete idea, Rayan says. Just two answers. Only Rayan and Agrima have understood it's a complete idea. It's a complete idea, Hinal says. Very good, right? It's a complete idea. And I'm also reading with a proper articulation so that you understand it's a complete idea or not. So this practice you should also do whenever you read anything. Read it with heart. So you will read it with proper focus and proper stress, and wherever you require the stress, and you need to stress the words, and you'll understand whether it's complete or not. Now let's read the second part, and they are proposing us a full stop here. Okay, nice. Okay, I see a full stop. I just wanted to check. Because their new qualifications give them opportunities for advancement within the company. Is that a complete idea? Because no, right? One complete idea, you can have a semicolon or a full stop only if the latter part is also a complete idea. So a semicolon here is wrong, and if a semicolon is wrong, this full stop is also wrong. And remember, if they're not changing any words and they're just replacing a full stop with a semicolon or a semicolon with full stop, both the options would be wrong. You can't have two correct answers, no? If a semicolon can come at that place, then how can then you eliminate full stop? So since A is wrong, D is also wrong. Or if you understood D is wrong, then A is also wrong. Okay. Now there was a complete idea, and later on there was a dependent idea. Okay, one new thing. You put a colon only when you are giving a list, you are giving an explanation. Okay, you are giving some examples related to previous idea. So we are not giving any examples. We are giving a proper reason for the previous sentence. We are saying employees whose tuition fees is reimbursed often stay with their employer after they complete degree. because their new qualification give them opportunities for advancement within the company. You all are listening to me because I am your teacher. So these are connected sentences. We don't need such a strong, such a, long pause like a colon. So C would be perfect here. Okay. So the point we have learned, reading ideas is very important. If you don't read ideas, if you don't understand ideas, you will never be able to understand which punctuation mark has to be used and why that punctuation mark has to be used. Okay. All right. Before I give the next question, if I'm giving something extra in the sentence, how do I tell my reader that it's extra? What do I put around this information? If I'm giving, suppose I wrote a sentence, okay? This is a sentence, okay? And this is something extra. Okay, I'll brackets, very good, Vishal, brackets. What else? Dashes, very good, dashes. Not a single dash is something else. Single dash is equal to colon, okay? Not colons, not two colons, okay? Colon comes single. Dash does that work. Commas. So two commas, two dashes, and brackets mean in the information between that is extra, okay? And for dashes, you have to be extra, aware that one single dash comes for some other use also. And commas, as I said, you have to work really hard on commas, because two commas doesn't mean everything that comes in those two commas is extra. We have to see that very carefully, okay? But right now, I just wanted this to be revised. Okay, one more question on the same thing, and I want correct answers from all of you on this. Apply that extra information rule here. Answers from all of you, okay? I want 9 answers here. Try, huh? Good, good job. Good, Ryan. Agrima, Hinal. Okay, Agrima says A. I'll put a wiggly, huh? A, C. Hinal, Snedeep. If I'm missing any name, just write answers, huh? Snedeep says C. All right, let's discuss this, huh? Agrima, look at this one. It says Lohi shrimp, then there's a dash, huh? So I am just ignoring this information. I'll read it. Originally thought to exist only around an undersea volcano near Hawaii. Lohi shrimp survive by using tiny shear-like claws to harvest ABCDZ. Okay. Now, do you understand that this part probably is, because a dash, when dash comes like this, either it's explaining something related to previous sentence. For that, previous sentence has to be complete. But if it comes like this, then can we say that this part is extra information? Agrima. Can we say this part is extra information explaining? Yeah, so Agrima, we have no choice. If they give us a dash here, we have to bring dash's partner and put it in the, picture. So we have a dash. What do we need? Another dash here. Okay. No choice. If there was a comma here, then you can't put a dash here. You needed another comma. If there was a bracket here, you had no choice. You had to bring another part of the bracket. So answer has to be C. This question will be done in, if you know this concept, if you've applied it tens of times, then this question will be done in 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Okay. So, and that justifies the time also. You have, I think, 30 seconds per question. So you'll do this in 10 seconds. You're to the next question. Yeah, dashes. Yes, Rayan, it's interesting information. Huh? Dashes, commas, and brackets for extra information. Okay. Okay, one last question on punctuation, but little more on one more concept. Okay, so I'll end with one extra concept, with something which with which probably will come next time, huh, to teach you. And I want answers. I want, probably an analysis of also that, are you able to understand that why are we eliminating a certain option? So think and write in the chat. Answer and your reasoning. Sorry. Not pressurizing, but you have to answer. But should not be very late. Huh? We have 30 seconds per question, so we should always try to stick to the time. We learn as we, time never should be experimented or taken lightly. Okay, I get B, I have got A, I have got C, C maybe B. Okay, a few more answers. I think there should not be a but. Agrima says her reasoning. Agrima has given some food for thought. Think about it. For those who have given the answer, those who are yet to give the answer. Give answers. I should not take name. This is ending. You should, give me a farewell with right answer, or at least all of you give me the answer. Huh? A, C. Okay. When do we use a while? If I say while something, the next sentence will be something in add-on or a contrast. Not add-on. While I was, studying, you were playing, you were doing something opposite, no? Contrast. So if you have already used while, do you think we need a but here? Now your heart may say, no, I need a but because I want to definitely show that this is a contrast, okay? But in formal English, this is called redundancy. Redundancy means using the same expression multiple times just to create, probably an exaggerated effect. It's a device, it's a literary device which we use, to show our emotions. But SAT is not about poetic language, it's about formal language. So, but and while together will not work, okay? It's called redundancy. Redundancy means it's repetition, and repetition is not accepted. SAT prefers simpler and shorter options, okay? So let's eliminate option B. It's repeating while two times. Let's eliminate A. It's giving us a while and but together. A and B. And while fare-free policies do increase ridership, and we just learned if we have an incomplete idea, we cannot put a semicolon after that, okay? An incomplete idea cannot take semicolon ahead. So answer has to be C. Okay, so this is not is punctuation also, but redundancy too along with that. Okay, so that's another topic. So there are some 10 odd topics on which we are tested, nice Agrima. We are tested in SAT. SAT doesn't give you, it doesn't say that go and cram the full book of your grammar. It will give you 10 rules, and it's going to twist questions on those rules so that you, fall for the traps it's laying for you. Okay. So we have to learn that carefully. We have to work on our application, stamina, multiple things as we prepare. Okay. And then we'll be able to get the desired score. Okay. So the grammar takeaway for today is that knowledge of sentence structure helps in using correct punctuation. If you are ever, even in the general life also, in your general English class too, somebody is asking you to use certain punctuation, read ideas carefully which are given to you before and after. Okay. I have two sentences which are joined, for example, the old man ran across the long high bridge away from the monster. Okay. Sorry, I'm sorry. My question here was that The first idea, okay, I just wanted you to read for ideas. The first idea, out of these two, which one is, complete idea? The first or the second one? We've done this. You should be able to get the answer of this. Which one is complete, first or second? Just write 1 or 2 in the chat. Snedeep says first. 1. Agrima says 1. First is actually the complete idea. Second one is incomplete. Okay. So read for ideas. You have to read carefully. Some of the sentences are very complex. You may have to learn extra, gather extra skills to understand whether it's 2 is a phrase, Rayan. Understand whether it's a sentence or not, or a fragment. There are multiple divisions. We do that in detail in classes. Okay. So you'll be able to understand and learn that if you take classes from us. Second, grammar takeaway, and favorite of mine and favorite of SAT too. It's a crime to join 2 complete sentences with a comma. Don't do that. A comma between 2 complete sentences, it merges the meaning, and the reader, if is intelligent and knows the language, will not be able to understand what you're trying to say. Okay. So class began, comma, professor lectured, comma, students took the notes is wrong. The class began, semicolon, the professor lectured, semicolon, and you can put, then you can say student took the notes. Okay, a full stop has to be there. I'm putting a full stop here, capital S. And after semicolon, you don't need a capital, you can start with a small letter. All right, so this is it from me today. I hope you enjoyed the session. You learned something new. My purpose was to teach you something, interesting, and not just make it very boring, because SAT is a 3 hours long test and it gets, boring, at a time. I hope whatever you learned, you'll be able to apply that in the actual questions. And I would be really happy to see you, in my classes if you ever plan to enroll. And we do one-to-one demos also. Okay, so if you have any problem area, you feel, for example, right now we can't interact. I can't ask all of you to switch on your videos. But if you join our demos, we switch on our videos, we interact, try to understand each other. And if you like, then you can, take our courses, the course we provide for math and verbal. Umemun will give you a link to, chat with us regarding that. And Umemun would like to also explain our, counseling process. So please, feel free to ask her any questions you have related to your admissions, your applications, all that. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Rayan, I teach English. Umemun will tell you what all we do.
Yeah. So Rayan, at LEAP, we do end-to-end as well. What subjects we teach? If you're taking our SET Plus course, then we teach both math and verbal, and the entire syllabus of both of the sessions are completed. So, both of the part of the syllabus is completed, verbal and math. And verbal, what ma'am was just teaching, English, basically. The English part of it. Yeah. Reading and everything else are complete. So the entire syllabus of SAT is covered in ICT program. So if you want to join, just give in your name so that our team can continue conversing with you further and give you the details. Okay, so very quickly coming to the UG counseling courses, that's basically undergraduate counseling. Before that, guys, quickly in the chat box, how was the session? Did you all like it? Did you all enjoy it? Just type one adjective to elaborate on how is the session for you all. Okay, Vishal is saying it was helpful. Great, cool. Thanks for the kind words, guys. Anyone else who would like to give an adjective to the session?
Umemun is taking your adjective test. Don't give average adjectives now.
Informative. Okay, I'm glad. What about the rest of you all? I think except for Ryan and Vishal, everyone over here, just quickly type in one adjective. Cool. So coming to the undergraduate counseling side very quickly. So at LEAP, we also provide counseling specifically for those who are pursuing abroad education. What do we entail in this? So basically profile building, right? To stand out from the crowd. I think in the beginning of the session, we were discussing on like 50% extracurriculars, 50% academics. So at LEAP, we help you get extra courses. We help you get into volunteering work, into internships if required. So we basically, whatever that you would like to do and whatever we can help you support into to build your profile, we do that at Leap. So your profile building is completely going to be our responsibility. Find out which colleges are best suited for you. So obviously, some of you are asking, like, we're not sure for artificial intelligence or for computer science or any other field that you've narrowed it down to. We sit with you and we curate a specific list on which colleges you can apply to based on your requirements, right? There is a lot that comes into that. There's financial aid, there's scholarship, everything else as well. So we help you with all of that as well. We also help you with personal statement, SOPs, letter of recommendations, and supplemental essays. So once you get into the admission process, they will ask you for your SOPs and letter of recommendations. So we help edit them, as well as we give you advice on how better to write your SOPs, right? Because SOP is something that does impress universities, specifically if you're applying for United States universities. So we help with that. We also give advice on scholarship and help you further with financial guidance. So obviously, abroad education can be a little bit on the expensive side of things, and we can also help you get the scholarships that you require, as well as the financial aid that you're looking forward to. So I'm pretty sure you all must be having questions on, how to get financial aid, what percentage of financial aid is required, which university does give it to international students. All of that is taken under our counseling program as well, so you do not have to worry about it at all. With visa assistance of documentation and mock interviews. Basically, once you start applying for your student visa, you'll have to go through your visa interviews, which are a little difficult and tricky to crack, but we will also help you with your mock interviews, so you're very well equipped, and with also your documentation process of the visa. So basically at Leap, it's like an end-to-end product, right? You come to us and we make sure that your admission process is significantly simpler for you all to go through. Having said that, moving on to the next slide. Yeah, so we have a panel of counselors that we have on our team, but one of them I would like to introduce you to. Her name is Arian Kilingo. She is a graduate from Harvard herself, and she's also a graduate from Georgetown University. And for you all, I'm pretty sure everyone knows Harvard. It's an Ivy League college. Georgetown is ranked, I think, at the 12th position in global rankings as one of the best universities in the world. So Aryan has graduated from both, and she's the best person to guide you through, your career guidance that you will require. Having said that, moving on to the next slide. I think there's one more slide after this. Yeah. So enough about what we provide and stuff. Let me take you through where our students have been admitted to, right? That is like the more interesting point. So our faculties and our admission counseling team has helped students get into Yale, get into Berkeley, University of Michigan, Carnegie, Duke, University of Illinois, UC San Diego, New York, Wharton, Cornell. So I think Yale, Cornell, all of these universities are Ivy Leagues, top Ivies in the school, and rest of them are all top 25 universities in the world. So yeah, and we have 3 mentorship programs in our counseling. First is the IB advising, specifically for those looking forward to specifically going into Ivy League colleges for them. Then we have global advising program, which takes up everything, UK, US, and Canadian universities. And then the third one is the elite advising program. Everything that I've just mentioned about, what the process of our UG counseling is, everything is included in all 3 mentorships. But every program is certain specific. So yeah, you can choose any of them. If you're interested in taking up any, you can type your name in the chat box. Yes. And what if you don't achieve your dream score, right? What if you take up our SET Plus program, everything's done, you've done your best, but you still aren't able to achieve it? Well, don't worry. We will also provide extra 10 hours of academic training and a crash course that will absolutely be free after you've completed a course with us. So you don't have to worry. Till the end, we guarantee that we are not going to be leaving your hand. So you can book a free demo with us with a discount of 1,000 AED if you're registering right now. The coupon code is mentioned on the screen. The website link is also mentioned on the screen, or you can directly contact to us given on the WhatsApp number on your screen. It's +971 501 501 220. See you all there. And having said all of this, guys, is there anyone who is interested in registering for either UG counseling or the SET Plus course? Or if you need further information, just type down your names in the chat box. And we can take up questions. I know that we've proceeded an hour of the like more than an hour, but then we can still take up questions. And very quickly, I think Vishal had asked about Polytechnic and him getting into Washington University. Vishal, if you're still here, I would just like to answer your question. So for getting into Washington University, since you're doing a Polytechnic diploma degree, I think, yeah, you're there. Cool. So you will require a GPA of 4.1, right? So Washington University, you will require a GPA of 4.1 or higher. GPA is basically just their way of grading, but you don't have to worry about it. You just have to submit the percentage of your 9th and 10th standard and your Polytechnic percentage. And once you're done that, they, curate a GPA. So it should be 4.1 and higher, as well as your SET score should be around, I think, 1560 or 1570 to get into Washington University. And that university is actually famous for business, law, and social science courses. So I'm not sure which one do you want to get into, but Washington University is famous for all of these 3 faculties. So you can look it up at their website, but that's the information from my side. Any further doubts on it? I think you can book a session with one of our counselors. She'll be able to help you further, specifically on Washington University if you want, or any other university. So I think that will help. Guys, you can book a free demo. Like, it's literally absolutely free. Yeah, anytime, Vishal. Any other questions you all have regarding STs, admissions? Oh, also one more thing. Vishal, for Washington University, you'll also have to give IELTS. SET is an optional exam, but Washington University will require you to give IELTS compulsorily. That's one thing. Any other question, guys, regarding anything else? Admissions, SETs? 2 more minutes, I'll be able to answer it, or we can end the session if you all don't have any questions. And I hope I didn't miss any questions previously as well. I think previously you all had not asked much questions. Cool. So no doubts, guys. Okay, we have one message. Can you repeat that? Can I repeat what, Vishal? About Washington University? Okay, so you will require a GPA of 4.1 or higher, and you will require an SET score of 1560 or 1570. Since you're an international student, the stakes are higher, and you will be required to give IELTS for Washington University. So these 3 steps are required to get admission into Washington. And Washington University is famous for social sciences, business, and law courses. Cool. Any other doubts, guys? Any particular university, no particular university? It can just be about US, Canada, UK, anything else, or anything about SET specific. If no questions, we can end the session here. I'll just give you 20 seconds more. Okay, no questions? Cool. Thank you so much for joining in, guys. Hope you had an amazing session with us. Please keep taking care of yourselves. We have another session specifically based on admissions coming up this Saturday, same timings. You can join us then, and you can join our Discord server meanwhile. See you all there, and keep taking care of yourselves. Thank you.